think with SlaughtaHouse, I mean, I always loved the record. I never bumped it constantly. It wasn't a record that I knew by heart, but I always really liked it. And I always knew a little bit about the situation, but I didn't know. I'm a huge Cold Chillin' fan, so I didn't know that he had literally just been dropped. They said, no offense, there's just a certain number of sales that we're choosing who stays and who goes, and you fell just below that line, and sorry, and good luck. And clearly through no fault of his own, it was not like he did anything to deserve getting dropped. It was just the BS of the industry and the way that things sometimes go, and that sucks. So going to Jalicious Vinyl was a very dramatic move too. I've always been interested. There's a compilation that I'm sure you know called Heavy Rhyme Experience that was somewhere around that era. I think a little earlier even, and that's how they first got introduced to Masta Ace. The Brand New Heavies basically did background tracks to a bunch of amazing MCs, some of whom were affiliated with Delicious Vinyl, some who weren't. And so that's how they brought some people in. So I just think there was a lot going on. I knew there was a lot going on with that record, and I knew that it was a complicated record because clearly there was very dark, serious stuff. But I mean, still, if people haven't listened to the SlaughtaHouse song, go back and listen to it because it's hilarious, really, because it's so extreme. It's basically the Gravediggers, before the Gravediggers, or you could at least see how Prince Paul must have just been like, "Whoa, that's awesome," "Whoa, I didn't even think of that," or I didn't even go that far with Gravediggers, or whatever. So, and there's even stories in the chapter how he said they showed up somewhere and they thought they were the new N.W.A. and the new extreme kind of splatter hip hop group, and they were just what? That was a joke, that, right? And the people did not know that it was a joke. The promoters didn't know, and they hired him to perform, and they're like, "Oh man, you're the ignorant MC's not here," and they're just wow. So yeah, I knew a little bit about the history of the record. I always liked the record, and I think the more I learned about it, the more I respected his journey as an artist, and I respected the album itself. It made me appreciate it that much more. But it's really one of the more underrated records of the 90s, I feel, and I know a lot of people do. I think that's Eminem's favorite album of all time or something like that. And so people who know hip-hop love that record, but generally it was still overlooked, and I think people go back to it and they're just wow, this was so that a lot of times to me, I take that journey, but I'm glad if people who read the books take the same journey, no matter what that is, any of the chapters in the book. But I kind of took that my own journey a little bit with SlaughtaHouse, the album.